Not gonna work. See how I did that? So then you want to back it off. So if you do that, just back it off. And just be very gentle. Now we're going to come back with our torque wrench and torque those down. We're going to need an extension. And remember, we're going to be doing these at 13 Newton meters. Now you can see, even though I did run them slightly down with the electric gun, I didn't tighten them at all to where now we can still come behind with the torque wrench. Okay. Now, after you've installed that servo body, if you hadn't done so already, then let's go ahead and it's probably be done in the rebuild of the sub-assemblies, but you want to go ahead and install the pistons with the rings, with the O-rings on them into these slots here. They're the same, it doesn't matter. You can put them either way. And you want to make sure that the open end is, or where the spring goes in is facing up. You just want to put them like so and just take and push them down. And you have two springs. Here again, the springs are identical. There's no difference, so they can go either way. And then I'd like to go ahead, while I'm on this side of the unit, is to go ahead and install the valve body, or not the valve body, but the filter. Everything's getting away from me. There's only one way that the filter can go. And of course it does have an O-ring on it, so you want to make sure that you do put the O-ring back on it. You know, sometimes you get a new filter and it doesn't have the O-ring. Sometimes you buy the filter and it does. If it doesn't have the O-ring on it when you bought it, it'll be in the kit. So make sure that you put that on. And you put a little grease on it. And just gently push it down till you feel it go into the hole there. And then you got one long and a short bolt. The short one will go on the left, or closest to the differential. And the long one, where the springs are. And the same thing, we want to run those down gently. We want to torque those down too. Gotta love this torque wrench. It cuts off after about a minute. And 13 Newton meters. Okay, and then we're just about finished with this side. We've got two more things we want to install on this side of the valve body. Of course, I like to just take and move this up and down, make sure that the reverse shift fork or shaft goes up and down nice and freely, which it does. Let's see here. Now we've got the spring cover. It's got 2 long bolts, they're the same. And of course, this is only going to go on one way. One way it won't go, and the other way it will. And then before I tighten those down, I like to go ahead and install this. This is the shift fork or shaft selector. It only goes one way. The bolts are the same length. So you just drop it down in place. And so that's 4 bolts. We're going to tighten down. And then we're going to want to torque these down as well to 13 Newton meters. Just like that. Of course, as you can see, we're almost halfway there, and this transmission is just not hard to build. And you're not going to have any problems out of it. Once you follow the section where we actually rebuilt the drums, the shafts, and then we'll cover a little bit in the valve body. But even then, it's simple as well. But this thing is really going to last if you follow that out, and it's not going to be hard to build. Okay, so now we can start. Now this side is finished. We can go ahead and start with the final side here, which is a separator plate. And we don't want to forget that anytime we have a separator plate, we got dowel pins. And we've got 2. One that'll go in that location here. And then you'll have one here on the outside that'll go in that location here. And here again, I've got plenty of pictures. You can't get lost. After that, we have our stator shaft, and you just want to, it'll just drop in place and just turn like so. And it does have an O-ring on it, so let me show you that. That'll go there. You can put a little grease there if you want. I love to use tranny assembly glue. Green, they have it in red, they have it in blue. I like to use green in the summer, it doesn't melt. And then I like to use the gold in the winter. Because if you use this in the winter time, it gets real hard and it's hard to use. But it's perfect for the summer. Let's put a little grease around there. And then we can go ahead and install our pressure regulator valve, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, you can see I have the bolts still in place. And it's just like we talked about earlier. We don't want more than about 6/100 of an inch high. So if you stick the bolt in there and it's sitting up, you just know that's too high and that's just not going to work. And you just drop it down in place. Now you notice that the stator shaft or stator assembly is going to ride on top of there. And then there is a rod that goes into that position. And it's this rod here. Let me give you the measurement. It's 3 1/27 of an inch. And you just want to stick it in that position there. And I have a picture of that as well. All right, let's go ahead and tighten the bolts. Here again, we just want to gently run them down. We want to torque those down, 13 Newton meter pounds, or 13 Newton meters. You want to work your way from the center out as best you can. There's no perfect way to do it. Just